It's not even controversial anymore.
People know in Florida their freedoms are going to be respected.
Miranda, hello.
Hello.
So you told me before we started, I've been kind of avoiding this because it's a hot topic. I'm like, do you not know the show that you're on? We love hot topics. We love it. This encompasses a few things that I'm really passionate about. You know, the democratic process, and securing it, and also the abortion issue, and whether it's just sort of a distraction. But so let's talk about this. So there is a effort in Florida to get rid of the 6-week abortion ban. And it's being done by voters, similar to how we have stuff going on here with initiatives. So they are going to put an abortion amendment on the ballot, but the DeSantis administration is looking for whether there was any fraud involved.
Yeah, correct. So petitioners across the state have collected over 1 million signatures in order to get Amendment 4 on the ballot in November. And now, of course, because this is something that I think DeSantis really kind of stuck pretty strong to while he's been the governor, is making sure that those signatures are actually legitimate. And I think they're calling into question at least 35 to 40,000 of those signatures to be verified, to make sure that they're, actually alive, contributing members of Florida society.
Well, they don't even have to be contributing. They just have to be real voters.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, so I mean, I do think that all petitions and all signatures, no matter what the topic is, should be verified. I just think that that's common sense, no matter what's on the ballot. Obviously, abortion is a really, especially coming into an election such like as big as this one coming up in November. I think it's going to be a hot topic, as I said before, for a lot of voters. So as it stands right now, Florida has a 6-week abortion ban unless there's certain criteria met in regards to like the health and safety of the mother. Like if there's an issue with the fetus that maybe it's like not going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And then also if you're a victim of rape or human trafficking.
Yeah.
The amendment would make it so that it limits the government's interference with your ability to have an abortion up to fetal viability, and then also including some of those things that I just touched on that would, leave it in the hands of the family to make decisions based off of the fetus's health, the mother's health, and other topics like that. So
yeah, okay, let's just talk about the Democratic part of it, and I always attack Democrats here for attacking the initiative process. I don't believe this is that. So it sounds like in 4 counties, the Florida Department of State wants to review about 36,000 signatures. In our state, when initiatives go to be certified, basically what they do is a process where they kind of randomly select a bunch of signatures, do a review of those to see if there's almost like a margin of error, like how many of them are legitimate versus not legitimate, and then they apply that to the whole. And so, if the signatures are valid, great. If they're fraudulent, then yeah, we actually probably should know that. So as long as that's all they're doing is making sure that the signatures are valid or not valid, and then proceeding. So what's interesting here about the amendment, if we just talk about Amendment 4, yeah. So I know even Donald Trump was under fire from some pro-life advocates because he says the 6-week abortion restriction is too strict for him, and he's a resident of Florida, and so that's the opinion he gave. It's just there's so much daylight here. There's a huge difference between banning abortion at 6 weeks and banning it at fetal viability, which is roughly 21 to 24 weeks. So that's like that I don't even know that's much of a choice at all. So your law, if this amendment passes in Florida, which is increasingly red state, it would be the same as Washington state's law. Our law bans abortions after the point of fetal viability unless the life of the mother, et cetera, is at risk. So, I mean, I don't know if there'd be, can you gauge what the appetite is in Florida for getting rid of the 6-week abortion ban?
To be honest, I think even some of my pro-life friends find this to be a little bit of a tight ban, just based on the fact that, as a woman, sometimes like our menstrual cycles aren't always on time, and 6 weeks sometimes is pushing it for one missed menstrual cycle that could come from stress, illness, all types of other things, including pregnancy. I think it doesn't give a lot of women, especially young women who aren't completely in tune with the way their bodies feel and the way they should, cycle throughout the month. I think that 6 weeks is a pretty small window for people to be able to know what's going on and make decisions in a very educated way. So it's hard to gauge anything in Florida these days because it's such a muddy place to be politically right now. But I think that if these signatures are valid, then it should go on the ballot and let them give us a couple more months. We'll decide in November.
Yeah. I just wish it was maybe just something to repeal the 6 week abortion ban, but not put in these other parameters, because then the state of Florida could reevaluate, because now it might end up with a very actually liberal policy on abortion as opposed to a very, very conservative policy on abortion. If that's what the people of Florida want, fine. But as these, especially after the fall of Roe, there have been multiple, efforts to either codify abortion rights or expand abortion access in red and blue states. And those votes have not gone well for pro-life causes. So even in red states. So I tend to think that even in Florida, voters would believe that 6 weeks is too extreme. So we'll see what happens. But, and obviously if for some reason there's widespread fraud enough to derail this from going on the ballot, then that's a different conversation entirely. But we shall see. All right, Miranda, let's end it there today. That was just a great conversation about abortion. We'll leave it at that hot topic, and we will not see you again next week, but we'll see you the week after.
Oh, what are you doing next week?
It's none of your business. I'm just kidding. I'm going to Las Vegas.
Fun without me.
Yes, with my loving husband. So sorry you're not invited to be a third wheel on our vacation, but love you nonetheless. Okay, see you later.
Bye.
It's not even controversial anymore.
People know in Florida their freedoms are going to be respected.